You are being bled dry. Every single day, you walk into rooms and hand your enemies the exact weapons they need to destroy you. You do it voluntarily, because your fragile ego cannot tolerate 3 seconds of quiet. You think your words make you look powerful. In reality, they reveal exactly how weak, desperate, and predictable you truly are. Look at yourself. You speak to fill the void. You explain yourself to subordinates who do not care. You defend your honor against critics who do not respect you. Why? Because you are terrified of what happens when the room goes quiet. Niccolò Machiavelli warned us 500 years ago that the vulgar are always taken by appearances. By screaming for validation, you prove you are part of the vulgar masses. You are suffering from severe cognitive dissonance. You believe you are a leader, yet you act like a court jester begging for applause. Every sentence you utter reduces your scarcity. Every explanation you offer reduces your authority. You are drowning in a sea of your own noise. Are you truly ready to admit that your mouth is your greatest liability? Today, we shatter this pathetic addiction to noise. You will learn the lethal architecture of strategic silence. We will break down the exact mechanism that converts quiet into raw, unadulterated compliance. You will master 5 distinct predatory principles of the silent strategist. Stay until the very end, because the 5th principle reveals how to make your worst enemies destroy themselves without you lifting a single finger. Your words are currency. Right now, you are causing hyperinflation. When supply is endless, value drops to 0. The powerful man operates like a central bank. He keeps the supply scarce. When you speak less, every word carries the weight of a physical blow. You must understand the concept of information asymmetry. In any negotiation, the party with the most data wins. The party that speaks the most loses. You are a hyena yapping at the edge of the woods. The lion does not bark. The lion waits. Machiavelli understood that perception is a resource to be managed with surgical precision. When you withhold your thoughts, you create a vacuum. Human nature abhors a vacuum. Your target will desperately try to fill it. They will leak secrets. They will expose their flanks. Shut your mouth. Shut it immediately after stating your core proposition. Never repeat yourself. Do not rephrase an order just because the other person looks confused. Maintain flat, unblinking eye contact. Count to 5 in your head before answering any direct question. Watch how they squirm. Watch how they begin to negotiate against themselves. But what happens when the silence becomes too heavy for them to bear? That is when you deploy the next tier of psychological warfare. Society has conditioned you to be polite. It has programmed you to smooth over social awkwardness. This is a slave mentality designed to keep you compliant. The master does not smooth over tension. He weaponizes it. Think of silence as a psychological tourniquet. You apply it to an interaction, cutting off the emotional oxygen. The other person will experience a sudden spike in cortisol. Their brain will interpret the silence as an active threat. They will wonder, what does he know? Did I screw up? Is he judging me? This is the manifestation of a covert contract you are ruthlessly breaking. They expect a conversational volley. When you refuse to play, their self-image collapses. They will change their stance just to win back your approval. They will offer concessions they never intended to make. They will lower their price. They will increase their effort. All because you had the discipline to sit still and say absolutely nothing. Embrace the pause. When an associate delivers bad news, do not get angry. Sit in silence for 10 full seconds. Stare at the bridge of their nose. Do this without changing your facial expression. Force them to speak first. Do not bail them out of the conversational grave they have dug for themselves. Ask yourself this question. Are you strong enough to let the room bleed? If you are ready to turn their own mind into their worst executioner. Most people do not talk to communicate. They talk to project their own ego onto the world. They are desperate to be seen, heard, and validated. When you adopt total silence, you become a perfect cold mirror. When people look at a blank slate, they do not see you. They see themselves. They project their own insecurities, guilt, and fears onto your quiet demeanor. If they are hiding a betrayal, your silence will make them think you know. If they are incompetent, your silence will make them think you have discovered their fraud. This is the ultimate execution of shadow integration. You are leveraging the darkest, most hidden parts of their own psyche against them. You do not need to investigate them. Their own guilt will compile the evidence for you. Your silence is the ultimate weapon. It forces the prey to run directly into your snare out of sheer panic. They will confess to things you did not even suspect. Listen actively but mutely. Nod slowly without uttering a single vocalization. Keep your hands perfectly still. Do not fidget. Do not check your phone. Do not shift your weight. Let their words hang in the air. Treat their statements like an unexploded bomb sitting on the table between you. Count to 3. Watch what happens. They will start justifying actions you hadn't even questioned yet. Subscribe right now if you are starting to realize how much power you have thrown away. But we are not done. Once they are trapped in the mirror, the real psychological siege begins. Every interaction is a war for narrative dominance. The weak man tries to win this war by shouting his narrative from the rooftops. The powerful man wins by letting the enemy construct their own defeat. When you refuse to supply a narrative, the other person's mind enters a state of hyperdrive. This is where cognitive dissonance turns into absolute paranoia. A wolf does not explain its movements to the sheep. It simply moves by remaining silent. You force the other person to guess your moves. This burns their mental energy. They will spend hours dissecting your 3-word email. They will lose sleep wondering why you walked past their desk without looking up. You are living rent-free inside their skull, manipulating their emotional levers without spending a single calorie. The current times are noisy. Therefore, silence is the ultimate disruption. It is a pattern interrupt that short-circuits the modern brain. Send ultra-brief communications, use one-word answers, or simple punctuation where appropriate. Never explain your emotional state. If someone asks if you are angry, look at them and say nothing. Let them guess. Walk away mid-conversation. Do this once the essential information has been extracted. Do not stay for the pleasantries. This brings us to the final, most devastating level of mastery, the tactic that separates the temporary rulers from the permanent sovereigns. The ultimate display of power is the total withholding of your presence and your commentary. This is the sovereign withdrawal. It is the absolute refusal to participate in petty drama, corporate politics, or emotional manipulation. When you withdraw your words, you completely sever the supply lines of your enemies. They want your reaction. They need your anger, your defense, or your compliance to fuel their own relevance. When you hand them nothing but cold, unyielding silence, they starve. This is not passive-aggressive sulking. This is a deliberate, tactical starvation campaign. You are asserting your total sovereignty over your environment. You are declaring that their provocations are beneath your notice. But when they realize that even the attacks cannot move you, they will realize they have zero leverage over your life. You become completely unmanipulatable. Eyes public provocations completely. Treat insults as if they were background noise. Static on a radio. Save your words for execution. Let your results do the talking while your enemies waste their breath-making noise. Adopt a stoic, unreadable mask. Ensure your face reveals absolutely nothing about your next move. Look back at the path you have walked until today. You have been a victim of your own tongue. You have given away your plans, your weaknesses, and now your power to anyone willing to listen. That ends right now. If you choose to ignore this truth, if you continue to babble, explain, and beg for validation, your path is entirely predictable. You will be passed over for promotions. You will be manipulated by partners. You will be read like an open book by every predator in your environment. You will remain the prey, But that is not your destiny. You are here to become the architect of your own reality. By mastering strategic silence, you reclaim your scarcity, you reclaim your mystery, you reclaim your absolute authority. Become the predator that moves in total darkness. Let them wonder, let them fear, let them obey. If you are ready to claim this level of unassailable sovereignty, prove it right now. Subscribe to this channel immediately. Leave a comment below with this exact phrase: "My silence is my power." Write it to seal the contract with your future self. Do not add anything else. Do not explain. Let your transformation begin in the comments section below.